We have arrived at our next adventure, King's Landing, Central Florida. I'm just gonna drive around, see if we can figure out where to park. I think I have to go back out here into the street. So I ended up parking along this road here, right before the entrance into this place. And then you got the campground over there. And this looks like the main launch area on this side. And it looks like you check in right here. And we are off. We're on the board. We're just cruising right through there. So that was a relatively painless check-in. There was like no one there. It was a cooler morning so far, but I think it's gonna shape up to be a really nice day. Should heat up to about 70 degrees. I think perfect temperature for paddling today. Gonna be tough to kind of film with my phone. Didn't really think that through, but you know, we'll get shots here and there. So time to paddle out and see what's out here. I got a 4-hour rental, so I gotta make sure I'm back by 1. Okay, so we're just coming out of the landing, and you can either go left down towards kind of more deeper, darker water where there's more wildlife like gators and snakes, or you can go to the up and to the right here where it's like kind of more crystal clear water. I've seen plenty of wildlife already in my outdoor adventures, so we're gonna check out the right side first. So I just had to paddle under that fallen tree right there. That was a little bit of a challenge. And going up the current too. Bit of a workout already. But look how clear this water is. Super shallow too. That'd be amazing to own this, chill here. So peaceful. Posted up here on the side. Look at this. Oh. Oh. How cool is this water? Oh, this is warm. And this bag is actually working out really well. It's a nice little dry sack that I picked up. That I'm just wearing on my back right now while I'm paddling. Pretty easy, pretty lightweight. All right, time to continue on. I'm actually standing in the river. Oh, it is so freaking warm. But it is a pretty strong current. Taking a little bit of time to get to the end here. This is so nice. So it looks like this is where it's closed off, right here. So we made it to the end. Yeah, because up there, there's like a little bridge. So just left the end point on my way back towards the river launch. And now we're just floating along because the current will take us, which is nice. So it'll be a lot less effort, but these places are pretty cool. Of course, all the spots along the river that you just want to sit down and chill and look so inviting, they're all private property and no trespassing. So it's just a tease. Like this place right here looks so inviting. Just chilling along the river. I thought for a minute that this place was serving food right on the river because they had a advertisement there. That would be a nice little stop if they did. Looks like I'm paddling through Jurassic Park right now. So it is very difficult to paddle straight along this river. I'm constantly floating from one bank to the other because you pick up speed and then you can't turn fast enough along these bends, so you end up bumping into the banks over here, the trees. It's very difficult to keep your canoe or paddleboard straight. Back where we started, so instead of doing Emerald Cut to the right, which we just did already, we're going to do the shuttle run down here to the left for a little bit. Probably just only go maybe about a half hour's worth paddling down this or floating down this way, because I know I'm going to have to paddle against the current on the way back, and I have to make sure I have this board back by 1, which is when my reservation is up. We'll just cruise down this way, see what type of wildlife we can see, and then paddle back. So apparently going this direction, we may run into some gators and some snakes. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. The total length of the run going this direction, I believe it said it was 8.5 miles. And going the other way on the Emerald Cut was, I think, 1.5 miles. So a lot of water trail to be explored down here. This is pretty cool. You're just floating over these plants. It's definitely a lot darker. The water's clear, but the bottom is dark. Now you can see it's just pitch black. Can't even see the plants anymore. It's pretty deep right here. We got a gator and multiple turtles just sharing the same log. Just chilling there, catching some sun. I made it to the Wekiwa Springs State Park. So from here onwards, the waters belong to Wekiwa Springs. And this is all fresh water. As you can tell though, this is a totally different vibe going down this section of the river. Another gator right over there, right offshore. Sunning, getting that daily dose of vitamin D. Just saw something go under the water there. So apparently along this river, I think along this 8-mile stretch, you can actually camp along different banks or different shores along this river, which is pretty cool. So you could rent a kayak or a paddleboard at King's Landing and then just paddle down here and then camp in Wekiwa State Park. That would be a fun little adventure to do. Just do like an overnight out and back. They also provide shuttles back to their campground as well, if you don't feel like paddling back. So for this section, the current definitely is not as strong as going the other way or doing the Emerald Cut run. It definitely feels like it's a lot slower of a flow here. But when the wind picks up, it does make it a little difficult to paddle directly into it. I think this is where I might call it quits, turn around, because I want to make sure I get this board back to the landing in time. But we went a pretty decent distance here. God, I'm float. See, this is the other thing. You just float right into the. God, it's really hard to not bump into anything out here. So I made it to this where this log is sticking out, and now I'm just floating back. Current and the wind is just pushing me back to the kayak launch. I forgot how challenging it is on your balance for these paddle boards. And my feet, man, my feet are tired. So we're gonna paddle back, eat some lunch, and then that's it, call it a day. But this was a great little adventure. Quite the traffic jam getting back in here. You had a little bit of a bottleneck back there at the intersection, and then we got a bunch of people coming out right now. And here we are, we made it back to the kayak launch, boat launch, paddleboard launch, whatever you want to call it, all safe and sound. It was a pretty laid back, pretty chill exploration. We are done for the day. That was a nice little 3.5 hours on the river. Beautiful area. Very serene, very peaceful, very scenic. Also super clean. That water was so clear. All right, so that was just a little side quest, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.